What's up, Internet World? We're the News 19 Nerds. I'm Leroy.
I'm Michael. We're here.
Yep.
Episode 3, The Outsiders. Outsider.
The Outsider.
Outsiders is something else, right?
That's a whole different movie.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
The Outsiders, Stephen King adaptation on HBO. We really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. Thought that...
I need you not to speak for me, sir.
We did. You can go back.
Sorry. I can say I enjoyed it. I don't need you
shameless
to say.
plug to watch our previous coverage of episode 1 and 2. I enjoyed episode 1 and 2 a lot.
I'm an individual. I can speak for myself.
You enjoyed it, though?
That's not the point.
He enjoyed it. I thought Jason Bateman did a great job with directing those episodes. We're going to do non-spoilers first, like we do. Mm-hmm. And then we'll get into spoilers.
Yep.
A.k.a. Laurenize that thing. That's what I'm going to start calling spoilers now, Laurenizing it. I don't know if it's going to catch on.
Does Lauren know you're going to call it that?
Because I don't think she's ever going to watch these videos, so I can just keep this going for a while. And months down the road, maybe a commenter will say something. She's like, what is this? I don't know. This is a social experiment. I don't know how it'll go. We'll see. But yeah, non-spoilers for episode 3.
I can't wait to see where this goes.
I can't either, man. Where are we going here? Episode 3.
I don't know. Let's start with the
non-spoilers. But what you think?
I really don't know where this show's going now.
Based on new characters coming in?
Based on how I thought. So everybody goes into a show, a movie, or whatever. You watch or play with your own preconceived notions based on your life experiences. So I came into it thinking, I know this is Stephen King. I know what I thought was going to happen, and that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. So I expected, based on the teaser, and again, the teaser was edited very well. I didn't expect the direction that this show has gone in, which is interesting and it's good because it kept me on my toes.
Side note, do you remember your thought? But when we did Watchmen, we did previous spoilers for stuff that had already happened, right? Didn't we? Okay, just making sure. So we can't talk about 1 and 2 before we say non-spoilers.
That's kind of how reviews work.
Well, I just couldn't remember how we
build
did.
on what happened.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you're not doing a Lauren if you say something.
Because I'm just saying.
No, now you gotta be saying it.
It has begun. Yes. So we can talk about Terry Maitland dead.
Yeah. So with his death and the hooded individual, this whatever this is, running around, I really expected them to try. I thought that they would try to find out what that was, but they haven't been introduced to that. We're still going down the detective role. We haven't hit the supernatural yet. They haven't been exposed to the supernatural yet.
And we also haven't hit like the other half of this 10-episode thing where like maybe, because they're like you said, they're still gathering evidence. Mm-hmm. We haven't gotten to the part like, well, now that they have the evidence, how they get to the answers.
Because right now we're still at the part where they're still trying to figure out how Terry Maitland was in 2 places at one time. Mm-hmm. And we're still coming to terms, as any person would in the real world, of how this person is here and here. Mm-hmm. And the way I thought they were going to go was one direction, and we'll get to that in spoilers. They haven't gone that way. Now, with that being said, we were introduced to a new character, Cynthia Erivo, who is Holly Gibney.
A well-known Stephen King character.
I personally think this is a very interesting take. I liked Cynthia Erivo's delivery of this character because I feel like it's very...
This is a character that is on the spectrum.
She's on the spectrum, yes. But it's her portrayal is very... even as smart as she is, there's things where she does not... The social skills, and I think she brings a very human element. Mm-hmm. A lot of times I think when people play characters on the spectrum, they either make them superhuman, they make them... They don't make them real. Mm-hmm. And to me, she seems real, tangible, and very vulnerable. And where she doesn't necessarily fit into the world that she's in. So I really enjoyed that. One of the things I noticed that we talked about before was they're using people we've seen in other shows, movies. I'm seeing the name right now, Yul Vasquez. Mm-hmm. We wondered where we saw him from.
Bad Boys 2.
Bad Boys 2. He's literally one of the Latin cops that he switch out from 1 and 2.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
He's basically playing the same Latin cop that the other two characters played, which...
Yeah.
Anyway, he was in Bad Boys 2. And I was like...
Check out our Bad Boys for Life review.
I was like, why does he look so familiar? Why do I see him? And then as I'm watching Bad Boys 2 again...
Yeah.
Oh!
That dude, yeah.
He said... Hey man, we about to have lunch. We can put you down for some chicken and some grape soda. I just lost it. Oh, that movie is horrible when it comes to stereotypes, but I love it.
Didn't age well.
No, I think the show is really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's going in different directions. We're seeing a little bit more of certain characters. Julianne Nicholson. You're seeing more of her being Terry Maitland's wife dealing with the aftermath of her husband being killed,
mm-hmm. accused
of a murder. You're seeing the investigation take a route.
Mm-hmm.
Alec Pelly, who plays Jeremy Bobb, who plays Alec Pelly. I feel like him.
Which one is Alec?
He's the detective.
That's hired by the lawyer?
Yes.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
him and Jack Hoskins, who's played by Mark Menchaca, I think those two are going to be pivotal characters going forward.
Okay.
Only because I feel like they're going to either do or see something that's going to, because it's always, whenever you're watching a show like this, you always see it from the main character's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're really following this from Ben Mendelsohn's point of view, even though it's an ensemble cast. We were introduced to Jack Hoskins. He was a man hunting. He got in a fight at the strip club. He's really a kind of wild
Kind
card.
of an a-hole.
He's kind of an a-hole, kind of a wild card. And then on the other, so he's working for the police department. Then on the other hand, you have Alec Pelly, who's played by Jeremy Bobb, who's working for the defense, trying to help the lawyer clear Terry Maitland's name,
Right.
and possible with this lawsuit coming up. To me, they seem to be the opposite ends, looking for the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
but probably going about it two very different ways. And so I think I think there are other characters that we're going to focus on that's going to be great, but I want to say look out for those two, because I just have this feeling that those two characters are going to be very influential, because we already saw Alec Pelly, the private detective, talking with Ben Mendelsohn, Ralph, about Holly Gibney, saying
She's
great.
different.
She's different, but
Yeah. She's the best.
Use the word spaceship.
Yeah.
He literally used that word, and it was like, well, what did you mean by that? Which means he's interacted with her before. We saw the phone call between her and him,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a relationship, but he doesn't know exactly how to deal with her, and
Mm-hmm.
neither him nor the lawyer do.
Right.
Because where we saw that whole conversation where she decides to take the case in the bar or diner, you can tell they've had a history. Like I said, it's really, without going into spoilers, I really see that those two characters are two to watch for.
So this show is going X-Files. You have a person who is by the books, and they say it in the trailer of this episode. I don't believe in anything paranormal or whatever that I can't see and touch.
I don't have tolerance
for stuff I can't explain or whatever. You know, that is that's Mulder? No. That's Scully.
No, that's Mulder.
No,
sorry, you're right.
Yeah, that's Scully.
Dana
Scully.
Mulder is the one who...
yeah, Mulder, what he believes.
I still believe.
And that is Holly Gibney. Mm-hmm. She definitely has a science mind, but, you know, she knows there's stuff that's unexplainable. She said, you don't have time for me. And it's a cool line to see in the trailer, but to see it actually play out is really cool, because you get the full dialogue of what she's saying, of the stuff she's been through. And you're like, oh, man, that sucks. And it's... for a second, it seems like they're kind of confrontational, or they're not as...
They're not buddy-buddy.
They're not buddy-buddy.
They're not Mulder and Scully yet.
Yeah, but after Holly kind of gives her backstory of what she's been through, Ralph is kind of like, oh, you have been through some stuff, and this is kind of weird what happened to you. So he kind of lends more credence to, okay, let me let her do her thing.
See, and maybe I differ from that, in the sense of I took it as she explained the unexplainable in a way he could get it. and not necessarily that her, and maybe I didn't see it that way. It's interesting because I didn't see it that he took the emotion that he had for her came from her explaining, and I don't think she explained it to him for her to get that emotional support. I think she explained it to say, look, I can tell you all of these different things and these facts. That doesn't mean I like the music.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it seemed as if she was trying to introduce him that you can't, if you think everything fits in a box, then you are missing out on a much more larger world that we live in.
Right.
And when she brought up the etymology of a doppelganger, and she broke it down how every culture has their own version of this.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because it reminded me of other shows that we've seen in other movies, whether it be The Watchmen, where they have spirits and they're called this in this culture. They're called this in another culture. And how she broke that down, you have to think, as an intelligent man as Ralph is, these things that we call doppelgangers, we're not just talking about a twin, they have some history in the supernatural, because
Sorry, go ahead.
that's the world we live in. I personally think that I would have liked to have seen her a little bit earlier, but I'm quite fine with the way that they introduced her to the show.
Okay. I mean, we can go ahead and get into spoilers at this point. We like where the show's going. You think it's going a different direction. To me, I just feel like an X-Files kind of vibe, and just whatever.
All right.
Continue to watch. Now spoilers. We're still in.
Had no clue they were going to go. There was another, like the jail, like the whole jail situation, prison thing caught me so off guard.
It did, and I like that, because for a while I was like, how does this, it starts off like, okay, you don't get why they're doing it, but you understand, okay, that somehow it's got to be connected to something. Something's got to tie in, and we learn that guy was at the same hospital where Terry was.
There was a case where there were children missing.
Yeah.
That ties back to Terry Maitland's dad.
Right.
And that became evident. But in the beginning, I was like, I thought we were going to be following. And I really that's why I said it went in different directions. I expected them, now we can do spoilers, I expected the investigation to go into the hooded man, or the hooded creature. I expected, as he was reviewing the footage of the shooting, I thought he was going to see.
Yeah, in the background, why is this guy not?
And that's why I thought, and maybe because we've watched so many police procedurals, we've seen so many of these shows, and that's why, and I tried to be cryptic as possible. That's why I said you come in with your own preconceived notions. I was expecting he's shuttling through, he's going through, okay. Oh, they got, and while everybody else is running, here's this.
Right.
That's what I expected. So the introduction of the prison, the introduction of the man with the glasses, and then another person showing up, that took me all out as far as like, what is going on? It kind of brought me back when Ralph brought his wife to talk to Glory.
That was really cool.
That whole thing was great.
Yeah.
That whole scene I really enjoyed.
It was nice to see Ralph's wife, and I wish I knew what her name, the actress, was.
That's her right there.
Jeannie.
Oh.
Yeah. Mary Winningham. Because we know that there had been friction between Jeannie and Ralph when their son died.
Yeah.
Yeah. We knew something happened, and, in the first 2 episodes, we see Ralph go to counseling, and we see it again happen in episode 3.
Well, he has to go to counseling.
Right. It's
court mandated.
Yes. Okay, that's what I needed to get out. Anyway, so he goes to counseling. I think so. I don't know. We'll see. He goes to counseling, talks about him and his wife, trying to repair it, and they seem to be on the mend. They worked it out. And I like that they're kind of working as a team, and Glory Maitland sees something in Jeannie that she's like, I still don't trust Ralph, even though it seems like maybe he's trying to help. I'm just so disgusted with him and everything. Oh, yeah. It doesn't even if you were trying to help, I can't get over that. Well, but I can talk to, and it makes sense.
You literally, she believes you ruined our lives, and you killed my husband.
Yeah.
You didn't pull the trigger, but you literally ruined.
And they still don't have the suspect, right?
Nope.
So as bad as it was, it's not like you could maybe like, well, at least you got the person. They still don't have the person.
Because nobody believes that he didn't do it.
Right. So.
Because nobody knows the evidence
Right.
that Ralph has gathered, and like we have this video, but everybody's like, well, they arrested him.
Yeah.
We have all this physical evidence.
And everybody's kind of on that same whole Ralph Anderson thing of nobody's really ready to believe supernatural stuff yet anyway.
Nope.
So they did arrest somebody. Case closed. So even though she knows that her husband didn't do it, she's not ready to jump to supernatural stuff yet.
Well, not only that, she's not ready, and I don't even think she's ready to jump to supernatural. She's not ready to deal, because it's one of those things where like, and I'm not a mom, but you got other to do.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get on with raising kids. You got to get them to school. lunches. You got
to take them to a new school now.
Not only that, you got to worry about their friends, the people you were friends with. Your whole life is irrevocably changed because of the actions of this man.
Right.
And so, yeah, and not only, and the thing is, it's easy to hate, because then you have someone you can be like, I don't like you, you ruined my life. Now let's flip the script. He now needs your help, and it's like, no, MFer.
Yeah.
You ruined my life. So
Right.
I can see why Jeannie is a better person to deal with, because Ralph can and many times he can apologize. You still can't make up for the mistakes that you made,
Right.
because of how you handled this investigation.
Right.
And we saw it. We all saw it together. He effed up this investigation. He really did, because there were other things he could have done before he arrested Terry.
Oh yeah.
But he thought, I gotta get him, because not only because of his personal history, but because of, if you're this brazen to do this, what else have you been up to?
Right. You got caught with this. Who knows what else you could.
And not only that, you were brazen, like you wanted us to catch you.
Right.
And so when you don't have all the facts, and it's almost like, as they're watching this, and you saw it in the investigation, he was like, he's literally looking at us. And then there was a point where he was like,
Yeah,
is he giving us
the
a finger?
Yeah.
So it's you almost sense Ralph was like, oh, we gotta take him down. There's more to this. That to me again shows the damage a murder has, not just on the people who are murdered, not just on that family, but law enforcement and the community involved, because these little girls had nothing to do with anything. And now they're probably going to have to move schools.
Yeah.
They don't have their friends anymore. The people who Glory thought were her friends now have probably turned against her.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody, I'm quite sure when she buried Terry, ain't nobody was bringing covered dishes. Ain't nobody was saying, I'm sorry for your loss. None of that. And you have to deal with that, as well as still live in, and then you have to worry about, you got to worry about this other income.
Right.
Was Glory a stay-at-home mom?
Getting back to Jeannie talking with the kids, I think it was all wonderfully shot in terms of how she talks to a child. Getting down on the girl's level and kind of explaining the story of, because it's so easy to dismiss a kid as having a dream, but to actually talk to them and ask them questions, because the mom, Glory, was like, no, she's having a dream and it's just bringing up bad memories. Let's try and push it under the rug or sweep
Let's
it
just
under
move
the rug.
forward.
Yeah. But Jeannie realizes, no, there's something here to it. Or even if she doesn't realize there's something here, she realizes it, maybe through counseling or through whatever, talking to this child can help maybe heal wounds or let you think about things that you didn't think about before, which is, I think, very good.
Well, also, they're still operating under the assumption that someone, and this is where I guess my only criticism, and maybe in the book there's a better chance to voice this. Ralph hasn't explained, if Terry didn't do it, someone targeted your husband. And no one has said that. No one throughout and if they have, maybe I missed it, but I've watched these, because I've gone back and watched parts of episodes 1 and 2. No one has said to Glory, because he kind of said it at the door, he's like, that guy, whoever did this, that guy's still out there. But no one has said and explained, if Terry didn't do this, which is what you believe, which I'm starting to come around to it, then someone targeted you.
Yeah.
Someone framed your husband. And that's where I thought this episode was going to go in. This whole idea that we now know he can't be in two places at one time. We can prove he wasn't there. The lawyer can prove he wasn't there. So who framed Terry and why?
Yeah.
And that's where the one thing I think that they haven't done a good job of is that motive. Because if Terry did it, where's the motive? If Terry didn't do it, someone framed him, there's a motive for that. And so that's where I'm thinking that they're going now that we've been introduced to the nursing home his dad lives at. But that was the one thing I thought was missing in this episode.
Okay. So, to me, what I gathered from the creature is that I don't know that he specifically targeted Terry. I feel like it was just a random happenstance of, well, Terry got injured, I can get his blood or whatever. Because the fact that we had this other inmate in the same area means like he was just targeting people in that area.
Well, see, that's my question. I don't know if he was targeting. That's why I said and that's why I said maybe this is another, and I hate using because you said it first. Maybe this is another Watchmen incident where...
You can take it upstairs, that's fine.
Come on in. This is Anna Grace, y'all.
They know who I am, kind of.
Anna Grace was mean to me today, guys. I was concerned about her, worried about her. She wasn't herself. And she like, rah, 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 and I was like, I'm just trying to look out for you.
Like how he usually is all the time, so.
Madam, see, this is why you can't be nice to people, Michael. I champion Anna Grace.
He does.
He does. He does.
But he does it in a rah tone.
I want you to be better, Anna Grace.
That's just how he talks.
That's how I talk.
Yeah.
I'm your drill sergeant. You get love from him. You get structure from me.
And my parents?
We're like her two dads.
I already have a dad, though.
We're like your extra dads. We're
Extra
your work
dads.
Your work dads.
They're my work dads. They give me free food.
I didn't know where this video was going. I didn't think it was going here today.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Y'all say bye to Anna Grace.
That's wild. I didn't. Yep. That's what we got.
I had no idea that was going that way.
No, I like it.
Hey,
Just like this show,
we do this for y'all.
just going in random directions. So what were you talking about?
The motive. So, I love the way it's going. That my only criticism is they hadn't talked about motive, and I'm not sure what this creature is doing. Is if it's honed in on the Maitlands because they're dealing with the father there, or is it just moving? In other words, it was there, it did some stuff. Terry was an opportunity to move on.
To me, I feel like that's what I feel like it is.
And see, I'm wondering, is the family cursed? Because remember so this is the one thing I thought was very interesting that they never showed in the trailer, which I'm glad. So Holly Gibney's character goes back to the place, because that's where Alec Pelly was like, there's nobody better who can trace a person's steps after they know Terry got the cut. We know the van was in Dayton. We know the barbecue place, Boney's, whatever, I can't remember the name of it. The barbecue place is where the van was, where the teenager picked it up. So the sin here, she believes going to the nursing home, I can get an interview with Terry Maitland's dad. She learns, wait a minute, what detectives? That wasn't part of Ralph's investigation.
Right. So
There's a
something else.
whole nother investigation,
Right.
which makes me wonder, is the Maitlands cursed, and is it the dad? Like, in other words, is it a crime of opportunity this creature is focusing on, or does that family have something hovering over it? Because the one thing I thought was interesting was, Glory said in those first two episodes, Terry's the only one who goes and takes care of him. No one else goes, which means that there are siblings, or there's other family members who have somehow written him off or do not care about this man in the nursing home. And that nurse at the front was she said some things that she was like, wait a minute, what? And that would tie the prison thing, that I was like, it opens a whole new world. And
Did you think he was going to kill himself? Or he was preparing?
no, I was not.
I was not prepared for that man to slice his own neck. I was like, oh.
Shoot, I wasn't prepared for the inmate to have a wound
Inside his leg to pull out a shiv?
Oh.
I was like, wow.
I was like, that's the beauty of this show, that it is so intimate and graphic. because the way the camera focused on his leg, that's your leg right there, that's you.
Yeah.
You pulled up something on your leg, and you
And
was
he's-
like,
yep.
nothing. He like literally was like his fingers were just,
Yeah.
and you're like, how? So
Yeah.
and because this is what gets me, because now these are more questions we're asked. Who sent that dude in there? Because he got locked up. Someone sent him there. Someone allowed him in with that weapon.
Yeah.
Because in order to go to jail, you go through a metal detector. In order to go to jail, they pat you down. We saw in the very first episode,
He had to
Maitland
squat and cough.
Squat and cough, naked.
Yeah.
How y'all not see that wound?
Yeah.
You saw the prison guard let him out. You saw the other prison guard open the cell door. So what is going on? And that's why I said there's a larger thing going on that I did not see coming.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be very self-contained. They were going to go back and track and like, oh, this is where he came, and that kind of thing. This opened up a whole new world that I did not see coming. And we hadn't even got to Jack.
Your boy, you said Jack was the one to watch out for in our first review. You were like, you were curious about his character arc over the show, and
Didn't see that coming.
I didn't see it coming. Yeah, he is now some type of harbinger or something.
Oh.
I don't know if it's the same creature that is the hooded figure, or if it's a different creature. It's probably the same creature, but something is now
Is it
controlling him.
offspring? I don't know what it is,
And
but I did not see that coming. And
it-
honestly, I didn't think that was Jack. When you watched the trailer, I thought it was Ralph. When you watched the trailer, I didn't realize that was, not all white people look alike, that's not what I'm about to say, but the way it was shot and the way it was going, I just assumed that was Ralph who went out there on his own because he was no longer tasked in the investigation.
Yeah, it was. And see, if Jack wasn't such an a-hole,
You'd feel bad for him.
Well, true, but also I feel like if he wasn't such an a-hole and done it earlier, maybe he wouldn't have been singled out to be attacked. Don't wait till the middle of the night to do this thing.
Don't procrastinate, or
Right.
you're gonna get tapped by something.
Right, if he had done it earlier in the day,
He'd have done what he's supposed to do.
when he was with everybody
Instead
else
of
still
taking
working.
his ass to the strip club,
Right, it's like,
don't
well,
go to the strip club while you're supposed to be working.
Yeah.
Hey, you get life lessons here.
Pretty much.
Write that down. 2020. Do what you're supposed to do.
Do what you're supposed to do.
That's what my mom would tell me. So if you was doing what you're supposed to do, that wouldn't happen to you.
But yeah, he gets stung by something, and now this creature is able to,
Communicate.
he's able to inflict pain on him from some distance. We don't know how far away he is, but he's able to. He don't have to be in like touching proximity to make that pain happen.
You think it's like a router?
I don't know. Maybe you can just switch a switch and just.
You think it's like Wi-Fi? You got to be. Would you like to connect to this
Yeah,
network?
he got his digital mesh network,
'Cause
and
this
he
is
can
the
do
thing.
whatever.
We know physically something, and we don't even know if it's the same thing, because it could be multiple of these,
Right.
or different versions. We know the creature talked to Terry Maitland's daughter in that room, because we looked at the floor, and the floor had some type of condensation, some type of liquid on the ground.
Yeah.
So we know something happened. We don't know what. And we know she's talked to him, because that goes back to the conversation you talk about between Jeannie and Glory. We know that there's something there, and that's why I said, is it the Maitlands that whatever this is after? Because why her? Why her? Why were you outside? And I don't want to say that and I don't want to say that they deserved it, because that's wrong. But why was the creature outside the Petersons' house when the dad committed suicide? And so a lot of these questions I hope get answered.
See, I wonder if the creature feeds off some type of like pain or something,
Misery,
or something. I don't know.
I mean, I don't. It'd be very interesting if it does.
Yeah.
We haven't got an explanation. We do know that there's some very unexplained materials at the site. We saw the socks fold because they thought like it was semen.
Yeah.
But then semen don't do that.
Right.
Like,
It was some type of other liquid on there, or substance was on
So
the clothes and
the
stuff.
thing that I don't understand is, and maybe because it's a small town, and maybe because Jack has such a, I don't understand how he's able to do, or I would like to know more about Jack to find out why he is the way he is. Because
Jack just kind of does whatever he wants.
Jack, and see,
I'm
and
like, do you not have a boss?
and so like, not only did he get in a fight,
Do you
at the
not have
strip club,
complaints against you?
like this is 2020, man. Like,
yes.
what's going on,
Yeah.
Jack? Like, let's talk, Jack.
I
Like,
definitely feel like Jack has had a couple of Me Too movements. against him for sure.
Not just me
Just
too.
that character,
I'm thinking
yeah.
officer involved shooting that went bad.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he's probably hidden evidence. I'm thinking,
Yeah, it's like, how do you still have your job?
Like Jack seems to be not all there,
Right.
and I'm wondering, is it a military PTSD thing, or is it that you just an ass?
Mhm.
And so that's why I said when I saw him, and you don't get that because the Asian woman, I can't remember her name is, we didn't even get that much of a, an interaction with her. Yeah, she's further down. She ain't in the top 10.
Dang, she
Yeah,
ain't up here?
no, she's not.
Man, all right.
Because if I remember, she's only in a handful of episodes. She's not in like everybody else is listed at 8, 9.
Yeah.
She's not up there. Jack got more of an introduction in almost anybody.
Yeah,
From the hunting incident
yeah.
to the strip club, and then when he came, he was in the office and they were talking to Jack, and he was like, "Well, y'all effed this whole investigation up, so I got to come," and And then you see Jack again hanging out at the strip club, and I'm like,
Hetani Park,
"Yeah, I'm not."
Tamika Collins,
Yeah, I just know it's Tamika.
Yeah.
She Tamika to me because I can't say that.
Hetian.
Hermione.
That's not. There's no M, sir. I know it's not Hermione. I don't think.
But yeah, I was like, I just was like, so I literally was,
Yeah.
and then I was like, you know what? That's Jack.
Mhm.
And so I wonder it was one of those things where they was just like, that's just Jack. But I need a little bit more about Jack because in this show that we're getting so many different things, I want to know why you are the way you are.
Yeah.
And is that not just why you were targeted, why it's so easy for him to be used?
Hmm.
Because as you said, if he's attracted to pain, does Jack have some pain in his past that allows him that you're like, because it didn't get anybody else
Right.
amongst all those people who were there.
Right.
Or maybe it wasn't there at the time. And it didn't get that boy. The boy who originally found all the clothes who
Oh,
then
right,
told
right.
the police.
Right.
So, and maybe because he was smart and was like, yeah, I've seen this movie before.
Yeah, I see it. Let me go. I'll call y'all away from the scene.
Because he didn't do the normal thing of, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
Let me go upstairs and then you hear, ah!
Yeah.
He was like, man, I'm getting the hell up out of here.
Yeah, pretty much.
He did the smart thing. Hey, 2020, don't go investigate.
I need somebody to, as we make these videos in 2020, I want a fan to make a supercut of all these little idioms we say about 2020. Because we have said a lot of stuff in all
Somebody
these
don't
videos
even remember.
starting in 2020.
I
I'm
know
just
one.
curious.
2020, Justice for Han.
We did say that. Yeah.
I did say that. I
Yeah.
stand by that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I knew Jack was going to somehow be, I thought he was going to be the one who was going to be like, no, I don't believe in the supernatural, and Ralph, you're suspended, you ain't supposed to be here,
Yeah.
and he was going to be the one that they had to convince because he was going to be in charge. Now it's like, oh, you're going to be the one effing up the investigation.
Yeah, you're going to be messing stuff
And
up.
not only that, you might kill a kid or two. Oh, no.
Whatever it is to stop that pain.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know what, like, or could it be a sense of whatever it is shed itself, got into Jack, and then Jack's gonna go off, and then it molts off of Jack, becomes Jack, and then commits a crime, and Jack just walking around like ain't nothing
Yeah.
happened.
I don't know.
Because again, we know Terry got a cut.
Yeah. We
We
don't know
know-
exactly how the creature works.
Yeah, we don't know how it works. We don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So
Person we have, I mean, we talked about a little bit in non-spoilers, but we have not talked about Holly Gibney in spoilers. And I am enjoying, she was only in this first, in the third episode so far.
I was disappointed. I wanted her.
But I am happy with what Cynthia Erivo has done so far.
Ariba.
Erivo? Okay, Cynthia Erivo has done so far.
The only reason why I know that is because somebody on TV said it.
Okay, there we go. Cynthia Erivo. I like her and everything she does, and she's doing great so far in this show. At first, I was kind of upset that she wasn't in the first 2 episodes, but I think looking back on it now, I enjoy that because
There's no way you could have introduced her.
right, she gets her time to kind of get her own character moment to shine and be introduced. We're getting kind of the setup of the plot and everything in the first 2 episodes. Then episode 3 is okay. Now we're getting a new person, and I think the show going forward is going to be whatever's going on in Georgia with Ralph, and then as she investigates in the Midwest and all this kind of stuff.
Dayton.
Yeah, I want to see what I think is going to be a 2-pronged approach.
And I'm agreeing with you because that's what I said in the beginning. I didn't know where this was. I assumed it was going one way. I thought it was going to be a straightforward investigation, and now it seems that there is more to this whatever it is, and I'm pleasantly surprised. But it really did throw me for a loop, which is good because so how many times have you watched a show or a movie and you're like, I know what's happening next, and I don't want to say I was irritated, but I was like confused, and I was like, huh, and then my head was just trying to like going through the motions of what's going to happen, and I had no idea, and I finally had to say, you know what, you don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
You didn't read the book. This is Stephen King. You don't know what.
All you know is you're probably getting some Supernatural.
That's all you know. And I was
Yeah.
like, shut up, mind, enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
And that's how I did The Watchmen. I knew the backstory, and I was like, I don't care, and I have to go into it the same way. Don't worry about what you knew before watching other procedurals.
Right.
Just enjoy the ride.
Right.
And it really has been so far in these 3 episodes. But I will say this. The first 2 set up the show. And I had questions, but they were questions that you were going to have no matter what, so I'm fine with that. This one asked an entire new set of questions that I'm like, okay, now I don't know what's going on. And I'll be honest with you, I actually like that.
Yeah.
I actually like not knowing what's going on or what to expect next.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that I think Netflix does not have yet, that binging, releasing all the episodes doesn't afford you this week to week, because I cannot wait for this show. Like when it gets started Thursday.
I wish more people were watching this show. Like it had a popularity of like the other HBO big shows, like a Game of Thrones or a Watchmen or Westworld or something like that. Just like more people were watching, just so more people would be talking about it.
I think it's one of those shows where it doesn't. It's a new IP. It's a book. It's a Stephen King book, but it's not even a. Stephen King fans, calm down. I'm not disparaging. It's not a hit book. It's not The Stand. It's not another property that already had something attached to it, and it's not one of the ones where people are like, oh my God, dude. It's not that book.
Yeah.
2, it's the beginning of the year. Everybody's over. It's kind of like going through fatigue of The Watchmen is over. People are still watching The Witcher. People are still watching Mandalorian. It hadn't come into the zeitgeist yet.
Yeah.
And this is a show that is going to be a hard watch for some people.
Oh, for sure.
Because it deals with the supernatural and it deals with children. And so when I was explaining to Katie, she was like, well, what's the show about? I was like, you don't want to watch that. Because I showed her the trailer eventually. She was like, yeah, I'm out. And after I watched the show, she was like, what's that show about? I was like, I'm not even going to try to get you to watch it. She was like, why? I said, it deals with supernatural, it deals with dead kids. She was like, I'm out. She was like, good night. She was like, go watch your little show.
Yeah.
She was like, nope.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a hard watch for some people. That's going to be a hard sell in the beginning of the year coming out of Christmas. I'll be honest with you. If this show premiered around September, October, you might have gotten more people on board because of the horror element.
When did Big Little Lies premiere? Like the first season?
I want to say March, and that's another show.
Because that is based on a book too.
Yes.
And that is HBO, and the people love that.
But that took a while for that one to catch on too.
It wasn't like popular in the first season?
No, well, I mean it was, but it wasn't like Big Little Lies wasn't like Westworld.
Yeah.
You see, like, because that's a spectacle.
February 2017, first season. Okay.
Okay, so at the end of winter, right before spring.
Okay, cool.
That's why I said that's a different show. Those are those are their spectacle shows. Deadwood, their Sopranos, those are their spectacle. This is their more Big Little Lies. This one character driven. Before it even, a lot of people. That's a very small.
Yeah, not a lot. That has not gotten a lot of press compared to other shows.
And I'll be honest with you, it's going to be hard to capture a lot of press in the age of The Witcher, Mandalorian, when you have so many shows. Avenue 5 premiered.
I do want to watch that.
I watched it last night.
Yeah.
It was good. Matter of fact, we watched that, and then she went to bed, and then I watched.
Okay.
So you have so many shows that you can be watching. It's going to be a while. It's going to have to break through. I hate to say the Rolling Stones are going to have to break on through to the other side.
cool.
But it's gonna take a lot because there's so much. Like we've got people in the chat in the comments. Have you guys watched C yet? The morning show.
I don't have an Apple password, so I ain't watching anything on Apple Network yet. Apple TV
You
Plus.
still got people. I still haven't caught up, and slowly but surely, I'm being convinced I'm gonna start watching Succession. And I did not want to watch that show.
I told this man Succession was great.
I did not want to watch a show based on the Murdochs about evil white people ruining the
But
world.
it's such a good show.
I didn't want to see that.
It's so good.
Like we see that at work. I didn't want, like I don't want that. But it's one of those shows where again, here is a great show about horrible people, and it's broken through with the awards, the nominations, the word of mouth. Maybe this show can do that, but it's got a tall task ahead of it because there's so much spectacle coming. And let's be honest, people are still fighting about Star Wars right now. I mean, it made $1 billion. People still arguing about it, which I mean, I can kind of see it. So, but yeah, I wish more people talk about it. We want more. We want to hear more of your opinions and theories. Don't spoil it because we hadn't read the books. I don't know how many times we got to say this. We're just going into it as fans of the genre, enjoying this ride.
That's it for us on episode 3 of season 1 of The Outsider. No S.
No S. Not to be confused with the Jared Leto Ronin Yakuza movie on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I have seen that scroll through my feed. I was like,
Came
oh,
out
I've seen
last
this.
year.
Yeah.
Came and went.
Yeah. You can find us here on YouTube. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, WOTX.com. If you like us, give us a little like on the like buttons here and the subscribe buttons, and tell your friends about us as we continue to grow this channel. Thank you to everybody, all the friends.
Hell, tell your enemies.
Yeah, sure. Tell them to give us thumbs. I don't know. Figure it out. Yeah.
Hey, if you don't like it, tell us why. I'm always interested in like what, because we can always agree to disagree. Because I will tell you right now, we're not always right. There are things that we miss, and I love a good discussion about something. And if you know something, let us know. But again, don't spoil it because we just want to enjoy the ride.
We're out.
Peace.